All right, we are recording. Hello, everyone. This is Jennifer, and we are doing our third Funnels for Your Business training opportunity. And this week is vendor events. So I'm excited to talk about that because guess what? We are right in that season, right? So vendor event season is upon us. So I figured it would be good timing to share that with you. So I wonder, what is your view, guys, for this? Can you see me? Okay, is it popping up because I'm talking? I just want to make sure that it's not like weird. Elaine sees me. Okay, I see you too. I see mostly you, Elaine. So I guess you can do gallery view. There we go. Or like view where it's just like whoever's talking pops to the front and big. So hopefully it's like that. Well, up in the upper right hand corner, if you're on your computer, you can see like speaker view or you can do gallery view. So hopefully it works. Carla, I want to see you. Okay, so vendor events. Okay, so I was talking with a few people and I just assume that everybody knows what a vendor event is, but what I'm finding is not everybody knows what they are. So I apologize if this is like just common knowledge to you, but I just want to make sure I cover all the bases so everyone knows exactly what we're talking about when I talk about a vendor event. So I kind of wrote a definition, and this is not from Webster's, this is from Westerhoff. It is, I put, what is it? A place usually in a community center, school gym, church, park, festival, a 5K run or other kinds of run, right? Fun run, art festival, charity event, rodeo, county fair, state fair, or other large venue, indoors or out, where vendors, crafters, and other small businesses set up a table or a booth and display what they sell or to share information. And then going a little bit further, different types of booths have different purposes. So for example, if you were a church, you might have a booth and you're not selling anything at church, but you might just be out there in the community. You might have a fun little game that the kids can play or information to share. And your goal is to just introduce yourself to the community and let you guys know that, or let the community know that they're there and invite them to join them at church. Or it might be like Dish Network, and they might say, hey, if you join Dish Network, we're going to give you a deal, blah, blah, blah. Or it might be a food vendor. My favorite food vendor is the little dips that you go around, and they have the little stick pretzels, and you can taste all the little dips that they mix with yogurt or sour cream or whatever it is. Like that is like a food vendor. And then they have crafters where I just think about my mom and all of her girlfriends back in the 80s. They made crafts all year long, and little ornaments and dolls and like dried out apple face dolls and wreaths made out of pine cones and all kinds of stuff. They would make it all year long, and then they would have a boutique where they would sell it all. Boom, sell it all. So fun. And then there is direct sellers, and that's us. So that is where we are displaying what we sell all year long, not just, like the little granny who's been knitting scarves all year long, and then she has them for sale there at the vendor event. But for us, we are in business all year long. For some holiday vendors or specialty vendors, they might just do it, just seasonally. So there's a lot of different names for a vendor event, and this is where it'll come in handy for you to write down the different names, or even share, if you guys want to share in the chat, different names of them that I'm not including. so that when you go to search for them, you're not just searching vendor event. Because if you just search vendor event, you might not get all the hits for the things that different people call them. So people call them craft fairs, holiday bazaars, holiday boutique, holiday market, holiday mart, Christmas bazaar, Christmas boutique, Christmas market, right? Multi-vendor event, that's something different that I can tell you about. Pop-up shop. So there's different types of vendor events. Elaine says sip and shop. Yes. So different ones, so that when you look up on Google or whatever, they might be calling it, I went to Mistletoe Market. Well, I never would have searched Mistletoe Market for that event. I just happened to see it on a different venue, but it's a different way, or you want to use all the different ways to find your events. And I'm going to talk to you about how to find them too. Okay, so since we're a direct seller, we do want to sell on the spot. I mean, we can absolutely have our display up and we can absolutely take orders. And a lot of times people will have a little bit of extra stash that they purchase to sell on the side, or like stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be personalized, like our timeless memory bags, or just little things that they can walk away with. So people, if they're there to shop, sometimes they want to walk away with something, right? But our product is so unique that we personalize, and you can customize it with fabrics of your choice. So while they might want to order it on the spot, they might say, yeah, I want to personalize it. So you can take orders to have it be shipped later, but you know, in the long run, our goal is not to sell product there. And a lot of times people will say, I had a vendor event, it was terrible, I sold $100. But what I really want to know is, did you make connections? Do you have their contact information? And can you follow up with them quickly to be able to serve them further, right? So I would take selling 0 over like getting a contact that wants to have a party or wants to join my team, or who will shop with me year round, not just this, like, here, this is $20, here's a $20 bill, bye, never see you again, right? That is not worth my time. I mean, it's not horrible, but if we're doing this to be successful, you would much rather do it so that you can build a relationship with that person. So that way you can continue to sell to them all year long and figure out how you are going to serve them going forward, like after the new year, next year. You know, are you going to be able to invite them back to the same event the year after? Have them join your team. If they're like, oh my gosh, I love this stuff, you know, they could join your team, book a party. A lot of times, people will come by and they have heard of 31, and so you can help to reconnect them with their consultant. I'll give you a tip here. You know, when someone comes to your table or booth and you say, oh, you know, who's your 31 consultant? And if they're like, they don't have a 31 consultant. So, or like, when's the last time you got an email from her? And if they don't know, like, oh, you know what, take my information, try to get in touch with her. But if for some reason she's not selling anymore, or if you can't find her contact information, I'd love to help you. So that's kind of an aside that's not on my notes, but you're still building that relationship, and you're also respecting the other consultant. So if I were at an event down in Castle Rock and I said, who's your consultant? And they said, oh, my consultant's Dawn. Like, I would say, I know Dawn. Oh my gosh, Dawn will love to show you this stuff. Like, have you got the new catalog from Dawn? Like, Dawn, I just saw her at a Celebrating Connect meeting. She is super excited. You know, I would connect her and say, oh, she's so great, isn't she? Or, you know, so you want to build that other person up. That's just the 31 way. And if it's someone you haven't met, you just say, oh, I haven't met her yet. And then the whole thing, like, if they know her, like, oh, when's the last time you got a newsletter from her, or email from her, or whatever, like, take this just make sure she's still in business. If not, then I'd be happy to help you, but I honor the relationship you have with Susie. But I just want to make sure that you have someone to take care of you if for some reason Susie's not doing the business anymore, because that happens. So, but you're building a relationship. That is a funnel. So, let's see, the main purpose of that funnel is to add people to your contact list and then find the way to serve them best. That's every funnel, is adding people to your contact list and then finding ways to serve them best. Okay, so why do we want to do this? If you were on previous learning opportunities, I talked about how the party is a great way to tap into the hostess's funnel. So when we start our business, we have our own warm list, and then we run through that. You can only reach out to your contacts as much as your contact list will support. But at some point, it's best to go out and find hostesses who introduce you to more people, and that's their funnel. So they're sharing their funnel with you. With a vendor event, it is the community's funnel. So you're taking the community and funneling them down towards yourself so you can hopefully find a way to serve them. So the organization or company that's hosting the event, or school or church or whatever, will ideally have a following. So if you think about vendor events that you've been to, that you've heard about, there's some pretty famous ones. Expo, write that down. Expo is another type of word for a vendor event. Home and garden show, like a show, is another word. I'm thinking of this as I'm talking, about these events that I've gone to and done myself. So hopefully they have a following. If it's a popular event, sometimes it's hard to get in as, a 31 consultant. If a consultant has had tremendous success with an event, they might have it every year. Like every year, she gets first dibs on it and she takes it because it's a great event. So you can find out if you can be on their waiting list, so that if that consultant doesn't come back the next year, she moves or whatever, then you can try to get in there. So those events are really good, because if you find that a consultant, or even another consultant in another direct sales business, or another crafter or food vendor, if they keep going year after year after year, that's a clue that that is a really good event. Because why would you go year after year after year if it wasn't any good, right? So keep your eye out for those. You want to have a organization that has a budget for advertising all over the community. They might even have a person dedicated to getting people into this event, because part of it might be like a fundraiser, or they might make money on the side. Like a lot of times the booth fee is part of the way that the organization or charity makes money, but also they might have their own thing that they're selling, or they might have food vendors. Like if you go to a fairgrounds or something like that, they have, their typical food vendor that's always there. Like our local county fairgrounds, like if you have any type of event, it's the same food vendor. So they want a lot of people. So they might have a dedicated person that does all the advertising. Like, do they advertise on social media? And basically, is it something that people look forward to attending? There's one up in Highlands Ranch that has an incredible, that's in Colorado, following. It's the Applewood Market. And I think they go around the country doing them, but that's another really good, a good one that people look forward to. And then they're like, they get their friends together, they go out to breakfast, they go to the event, they plan to spend the day there, they have a budget, blah, 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 right? So they're excited. Okay, so even better than just these advertising, hopefully they have that, but it's even better when they encourage or require the vendors to reach out to X number of their own people to bring them in too. So that way, that's like all the funnels of all the vendors are coming, right? So they might do business in this funnel over here, but that might be just dips. And you can only have so many dips. You might need bags. You might need bags for your dips. You might need a little carry-all caddy for all of your dips or whatever. So, right? So that is a great thing to know. And a great thing to ask when you're looking to sign up for these things, like, are the other vendors going to advertise it? And that's really important if you're doing, like, a lot of times around the holidays, like, you'll find a direct seller, I'll say it's me, and I, open up my home and I'm going to display 31, and then I have my friend that sells Scentsy, and then I have my friend that sells Pampered Chef. She's in the kitchen, and then, someone's selling baskets. I don't know, probably not baskets, but food is in the other one, like Tastefully Simple. That we all have little stations, right? If you get invited, or if you host one of these yourself, like you're the main person, and then you have like 4 or 5 different people coming, make sure this is critical, because these are usually I don't know, they're not my favorite, but if the person has a big following, she's going to have a lot of people at her house. But if she's saying, you need to invite your whole social media, you're going to, have this email that you could send out, or you're going to give me 50 email addresses, we're going to email blast and evite to all your friends. Those are better than just like, 5 people show up and no one told anybody, or just the person that's hosting the party in the house told her friends. And then it's like a regular party, 10 people show up and like everyone is, like attacking that person because finally like someone walked in the door. It has to be very, do you know what I mean? It's not worth your time if you guys aren't going to contribute by getting people to show up. So that's called a multi-vendor event or a pop-up shop. Those are generally called those. Okay, so expanding on that, if you had 100 vendors in a big gymnasium and each person invited 100 each, 10,000 people would be invited. So now, are those 10,000 people going to go to your booth or even come? No, but it's going to have a much better success rate if you have those, just a bunch of people coming. And then what else? Okay, enough of that. All right, so now I want to talk to you about how to find them. First of all, what ones have you been to that you loved? Like, if you look forward to one, see if you can be a vendor there. Like, maybe you even joined 31 because you met someone at a vendor event. Was that a good one? Could you see if they're still doing it? Could you join up as a vendor? Like, even from before you were a consultant, or just, you see the signs start to come up on the street and you remember, oh yeah, that community center always does a show. I'm going to see if I can find out how to get in on that. Look online. When I first started 31, Jennifer Pasalakis was like on me. She's like, there's, such a great opportunity to become known as the 31 gal in your area. You need to get into events and just become known as the 31 lady. And I'll tell you, that was really good advice, because right away, I mean, I joined in October, but right away I did 2 vendor events that were pretty good, that kicked off my business. It was in my neighborhood. It was just like a community one. And but it really got me out of my circle of immediate friends and beyond into the community. And I think that is just it's just really great advice, and I'm so glad that she told me that, because even to this day I have people that still buy from me from my very first vendor event. Okay, so Google, Facebook, there's Facebook communities. I posted this on our Lineage group. Facebook communities on like groups or pages that are dedicated just to getting the word out about these events in their community, because they want to be successful. So they are always trying to like post. So there might be like a hub, and then it might be like, oh, Douglas County Fairgrounds is hosting the, I don't know, like the a consignment show, a consignment thing, or it's the holiday mart at the field house. You know, we are looking for vendors. Here's how you apply. So there are Facebook groups and even websites that are dedicated to that. Facebook is probably the top one, because then people will comment and say, do you have someone for 31? Do you have someone for Color Street? Do you have someone for Pampered Chef? And then, you know, they'll send you the information or the website and you can sign up. Okay, so that was key. And I also went on church websites, or just even Googled the holiday fair, and I found some duds and whatnot, but for the most part, I mean, I found some decent ones that were nice. Ask around, ask your church, ask organizations that you support if they do anything like that, and see if you can participate. You don't want to have, like, you go to this church or your kids go to this school and then all of a sudden, like, there's a vendor fair and someone else is there, or you miss out on it and there's not a 31 person there because you didn't put it out there. And what's the worst that can happen if you make a connection at your church with the staff or the school with the staff and say, hey, I'm with 31 Gifts and I'm just wondering, does our school do any kind of holiday market or anything like that? Because I'm wondering if I could get in on that if you do that. They might not do it, but guess what? You made a connection and you told one more person, or all the office people sitting there, that you are with 31, right? So it's a good way to get out there, just by asking around. Ask your friends, like, if you don't go to them. I know some people, they'd never have been to a vendor event. They've never been to any kind of holiday boutique, but a lot of their friends may have. Ask on Facebook. Say, do you know of any great holiday markets or vendor events? What's your favorite one? And you don't even have to say, like, I want to sell 31 at a vendor event. Just start the conversation and see what they say. Like, what is your favorite and why? Okay, so now this is important. So that's how to find them. This is how to make sure it's a good one. So you can find them, they're out there. But if you're gonna spend money on a fee to get in there and spend your time at it, you wanna make sure it's good. So I'm gonna tell you a whole bunch of questions to ask or find out one way or another. And I would suggest that you write these down because I think that they're super important, okay? So don't be shy. This is your business. This is your time. It's valuable. It's your money. So you want to ask these questions and find out, because it could be critical to you standing there for 8 hours and not meeting anybody, or having a fabulous time and meeting people and changing your whole business. Okay, so number one, how many years have they been doing the event? Is it the first year? Now, that's not to say that the first year can't be amazing. I did one event where they did one preschool fair. It was $25, cheap, and I had one table, so small, but it was fabulous. But I figured $25 for like 5 hours. I knew the coordinator. I knew she's organized. I knew that she was going to be advertising. So I signed up for it. And I met Erica Knutson through her sister who was at that event. So that team is like, I don't know, 90, 100 people. That was years ago, 7 or 8 years ago. And that one $25 event where I stood there for 5 hours was amazing, right? So my motto is kind of, you never know, but you kind of want to know. There's some things that are key that you do want to know, right? So how many years have they been doing the event? How many people usually come through? Like an event that happens year after year, they know that they're going to get 5,000, that they're going to get 500, they're going to get 10,000, you know. How many vendors do they have? So it's not just how many people are coming through there, how many vendors are they going to have? So, you know, if they have it mapped out and they can have, you know, 30 vendors, 40 vendors, that is a bigger draw than, okay, you're going to have 5 vendors there. It's not worth driving down there and parking to go in there. But if you have a good variety then that is going to draw people in. Do they limit certain types of vendors? Okay, so are they going to have a certain number of food vendors, jewelry, handmade, direct sales, etc.? So the reason why that is important, because if they become known as the vendor event that will take any Tom, Dick, and Harry off the street, put up a table and put their junk out, and like everyone's making jewelry and everyone's knitting a scarf, and you go down the roads and it's all handmade bracelet and handmade scarf, people are going to be like, this is not great. You know, you've seen one scarf, you've seen them all, you know, and then I'm just going to go. But if they, or if they're all direct sales, like people don't necessarily like that either, because they might be wanting to see the homemade, they want to see the food, they want the dips, they want the different people in the community to come out. So if they're gonna limit, like, you know, the number of jewelry, the number of direct sales, and even the number of clothing, like, so that it's not all the same going, if they limit it, then it's a good one and people come back the next year. So if they've limited it in the past, people are going to come back because they've vetted the event, right? So sometimes, like if it's a charity event, like there was one, it was a marching band, high school marching band event, and I went to it and it was awful. It was literally nothing against grandmas making Afghan quilts or crocheting, but it's all it was. Like every high school kid's grandma put up a table and was selling, you know, hot pads. So I know that's terrible to say, but you get what I'm saying, right? You've seen one scarf, you've seen them all. Okay, is it a juried event? Now this is key too, because this will be like, okay, grandma makes some scarves, but grandma better be making some awesome scarves to get into this event, because they are going to have the best of the best. Like when you go to that event, you know you're going to find some quality stuff and variety, right? Not just, you know, grandma went and painted. Why am I harping on grandma so much? That's terrible. I love grandmas. So, but you kind of get what I'm saying, right? You know, it's going to be quality stuff. Okay, so juried event means they have to choose, and you would have to put up a picture, like send them a picture, like a description of what you're going to have, what your products are, your website if you have one, or you could send the 31 gifts. They just want to know what the products are. And then a picture of your display. And it doesn't have to be like your display. It could be a display that you did, or a display that you're going to put up this year, but one in the past. So they can get an idea of what your booth is going to look like. So that's nice. Those are usually more expensive because they are really trying hard to make it awesome for you and for their guests that are coming through. All right, has the same person or organization been the chairperson or coordinator in years past? You know, how many people do they have running the show, so that they know like it's going to be good? How do they advertise? Are there going to be signs on the street to get just street traffic that day or days? How do they ensure that there is only one 31 consultant at the whole event? That's critical. That's a part of our consultant agreement, that you can only sell, only one consultant can sell an event at a time. And it's just better that way. And then if there are multiple days that you're doing the event, is there security to watch your stuff, or are you going to need to take it down and set it up every day? All right, so those are things that I would look at when choosing. So like I said, it's your time, choose wisely. But then again, you never know. My $25 preschool fair was amazing. So go with your gut. All right, and ask around. Like if you find one that's good, you think it's good, say, hey, did anyone I know go to this last year? How's this event? All right, now here's some tips on making it great. Because again, if you're gonna stand out there for hours upon hours on your feet and haul all your stuff down there, you want to make sure you're going to get your best bang for your buck. All right, so your display. You may consider planning out what your display is going to look like before you get there. So when you ask them, did I say how many? One of the questions to ask is the fees. Where did that go? I wrote that down. Okay, ask what the fee is and what you get for that. So do you get a table? Is it a 6-foot table, an 8-foot table? Do you get more than one table? Are you getting like a 10 by 10 space? Like, what are you going to get? So when you know that, you can decide on your display. Like sometimes if you're a newer consultant, a booth that is 10 by 10, you might not have enough product to really fill that up and make it attractive, right? But on the other hand, you can make a really pretty, simple display that attracts people. So when you sign up for one, ask what you get. Like, do you have to supply your own table and chairs? Do you have to bring a tent if it's outside? Or are they going to supply that? But that way you kind of know what you're going into. So if you know you're going to have 2 8-foot tables, then you can plan that out at your house. And so you can set it up how you're going to display it and make sure you have it like tiered. You know, it's not just like all your stuff on a table, but you can use objects that you can prop stuff up. It doesn't have to be very expensive, but use covers like black sheets even from Walmart or even the Goodwill or something like that to cover things up and create height and also go all the way down to the floor. So when your people are looking at it, it looks like something that they want to go into. So you can achieve that and kind of say, oh, I need something that's higher. Maybe I should get a wreath hook so that I can hang a purse here. Or maybe I should get some purse clips so I can use the table and hang stuff coming off the table. Like, set it up ahead of time and take a picture of it and share it with your director or a fellow consultant or me and say, what does this need? That way, when you get there, you know exactly how it's supposed to look when you set it up, right? You can say, is it too plain? Is it too cluttered? Are there coordinating pieces? Is it something that I would want to walk into and explore? So you're trying to draw them in. All right, so we have a Facebook lineage group, and there's an album in there with a ton of displays that fellow, like people from our team, myself, and just displays that I've seen other consultants do that I've saved with good ideas. So check that out for some ideas. You don't have to spend a lot of money to create an attractive display. All right, so and then what information are you going to hand out to people who visit your booth? So I say, and this is advice that JP gave me years ago, like, get your information out there. If the mini catalogs are fabulous, right? Ideally, you're trying to get them to give you information and then you hand them information. But if they don't want to give you their information for whatever reason, give them a mini catalog. It's like, what, 20 cents or something like that? I don't know what the price is, but your information is on it, and they might be in a better mind frame to look at it after the event. They might be pushing a stroller. They might be, almost about, ready to explode with milk, and they just can't even stop at your booth, right? I mean, I don't even know where that came from, but just thinking like, you know what I mean? Like, or she's hungry. She's like, that's cute, but I just need to eat, or my baby needs to eat, or these kids are just driving me nuts, or, I'm here with my mother-in-law and I don't really want to be here, whatever. But hand her that mini catalog so that when she's in a quiet moment, she's got your information. When she flips through that, she's going to go, oh, that's what that was. Let me call that girl. I typically don't give out full-size catalogs. If someone makes a purchase, I might, or if they book a party, I will, but I don't have a stack of catalogs on the table. I keep those down below. If you have any old catalogs from previous seasons, hand them out. Those are essentially mini catalogs, right? You can even put a sticker on them, on it that says, if, or this catalog may be old, contact me for a new one and you'll be sold, or something like that, like some little jingle, right, that you could put on it and let them know, like, I don't have any new catalogs to hand out today, but we do have a lot of these items, maybe in different prints, but this has my contact information. Let's connect and I can get you a brand new one. And then this is critical. If you heard nothing else tonight, listen to this. How will you collect their information so that you can follow up? Okay, if you are not going to follow up, I am so guilty of this. So guilty of this. If you're not going to follow up, don't do the event, right? I always think, you know, they're good for my business. They're good for my business. Just do it. You won't regret it. And then, like, I put a lot of effort into packing it up, putting the display up, visiting with people all day long. And then I just, after I get back home, I just like close off. And then my little stack of leads waits and waits and waits because I'm exhausted. But there's no use in going to do it if you're not going to follow up. Don't do what I say, not what I've done. I'm just telling you, I have to be honest. I can't, you know, try to trick you, not, you know, I have to be honest, right? I don't like these events, but if I am being honest, they have changed my business. They've been amazing. But also I have dropped the ball. So do what you can to not drop the ball. So what are you going to do to collect their information? We have door prize slips that are for sale on Business Supply, and I have some. I use these at my parties too for a little drawing. So it's just, they're really inexpensive. I want to say they're $1 for a pack or a stack of 50 maybe. Super inexpensive, but it's a place where you can see that their name, all their contact information, and then what they might be interested in. That might be backwards, but you've seen it. So they can kind of tell you what they're interested in. Some people are like, no, that's okay, because who wants a solicitation, right? But you might be able to get them to give you the information if you're doing a drawing. Like, do you want to enter a drawing to win this $25 product certificate? Or maybe you went to a Celebrate and Connect and they gave out a medium utility tote for free last time. That didn't cost you anything, right? But you can collect their information and give that thing away. And then you have their information. Now, I caution you, there are going to be people that just enter it to win the prize. But then you want to say, if you fill this out completely, including the bottom that says what you might be interested in, you will be in the drawing, right? So they have to fill it out completely. If they just put like Susie Q and her phone number, then, you know, it's fine. You can still add her to your contact list, but in order to be in the drawing, fill out the whole thing. But then it may be like, this is the tricky part. You're gonna have way more people to follow up with, but there will be a lot of people that are just hoping to win the prize, right? It's like the ones where you fill it out, I don't know, at the bank, and you wanna win a 90-day gym membership. But really, you know, as soon as you enter that in there, Michelle said no. You know that you're asking for phone calls, right? So people are hesitant, and you will get those people, but there might be a diamond in the rough, right? That person in there might be like Allison Pope. She's a director on our team. I got an event together, and Crystal and Dana and I did it together in Castle Rock, and we met Allison. She was another vendor, and Crystal got her information, and she followed up, and she continued to build a relationship with her, and now Allison is on our team. She's a leader. She was just in Maui, but Crystal got her information, and she continued to follow up. So you never know. All right. Okay. So how are you going to, so a drawing, they can fill it on paper. You can have like a little clipboard. You can make your own. Like if you don't like what it asks, there's different ones you could print out from different consultants make them and print them out, cut it into fourths. You can have a clipboard where they, you know, just fill out one line, super simple. There's also some apps that you can have on your smartphone or even on an iPad. It's like a spin a wheel app, and to get the wheel to spin, they enter their information and they spin the wheel, and it might give, like, you get to determine what the things are. It might be like a free nail file, half price off embroidery on an order this month, or whatever it is, right? So you determine what that is. They might only get something if they order, you know, like 10% off your order today. Like, you got their information, and you might get an order because they, you know, wanted to use their coupon. So it's called like spin the wheel or something like that, and it sounds like Wheel of Fortune, the click, 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 click. Some people will even buy the ones. Those attract a lot of people because everyone wants to spin the wheel, right? Or like pull a sucker out of the board, and if it's a certain color, they get on the end, they get something, right? And then the kids all want to go over to the table because there's free suckers. Like, there's different stuff you can do to draw people in, and then say, you know, you can spin the wheel, but you have to give your information to do it. You don't just get to spin the wheel. Okay, so how are you going to connect with them? When will you follow up? This is key. So this is something that I didn't do in many events and paid the price. Like, I get back from my event and I'm like, I figure I'm done, I did it. But really, within 24 to 48 hours, you should follow up. And that will include putting that on your schedule, that time to follow up, because if you don't, guess what? A week goes by and you haven't contacted them, and then those leads that were once hot turn warm, turn lukewarm, to turn cold, and then you don't remember them, they don't remember you, and it's over. So schedule time when you're booking your vendor event. If it's Saturday, on Monday, make sure you followed up. So, and just plan that. So otherwise, why bother? Okay, so another one, like a lot of times you go into an event, and this was like the event Jennifer Hasalaka said, you should get in with the junior league. And I did an event, and I was like, it was expensive. I think it was $900, and I was brand new. I wasn't brand new. I was a year into it. I know Jamie's going like, what? Okay, but listen, Jamie, it was like 3 or 4 days, right? So I divided it up by hour, and then I knew I asked all those questions. How many people are rolling through there? It was at the Denver Mart. Thousands of people were going through there. Thousands of people. I couldn't do it by myself. I didn't have the product for it. I didn't have the man hours. I was not going to stand there 12 hours a day and for 4 days in a row, and I wasn't going to stand in there by myself. So I divided it up and said, how many hours do I want people here? Like, I want 3 people here at all times. I'm just making this up. And so we have 12 hours. That's really 36 hours of man hours. Divide that by the daily cost, and then each person paid like $15 an hour to stay there, $10 an hour to stand there. So they bought their slot. I didn't pay $900. I paid $900, but the other consultants paid me to man the booth together. So we did it as a team. And so for that $10 an hour or whatever, they got to stand there, and we had strict rules like, okay, it's your turn, it's your turn, it's your turn, like, you know, with flexibility. So it wasn't like the most aggressive person jumps on that person that walked in the booth, right? And, you know, there's a little not mix up, but like if someone's having a really great conversation, the next person might get a couple that are just kind of looky-loos in and out, right? But we divided it up. We did do a drawing, but like if that person filled this out, I would say, okay, thank you. And I would put on the back, I would, when this is a tip that I didn't even put on my notes, write down, okay, Arla has, lives in California, has grandkids, funny husband, you know, whatever it is, right? So I remember Arla, right? So then I would write Jennifer on the top of it, put it in the box so that at the end of the day, we are dividing it up. One, I have notes about that person on the back that will jog my memory. And also I know that that was Miley that I talked to, because I'm not going to go, who talked to Arla? Does anyone remember? No, it's on the back. It was Jennifer. Jennifer's going to go home with this lead, and within 24 to 48 hours, she's going to talk to Arla and check in on her, right? So, but the bottom line is, just because an event is super expensive, talk to your director, let her know about it. Talk to, you know, other consultants that you know, say, do you want to go in on this? It seems really good, but I can't do that. I mean, that's an extreme case, Jamie, but it, I mean, we did get the money back. We did get the money back. So, over time. And that's just the thing too. You never know, like it's not, might not be immediate. It's an investment sometimes. So, yeah, another lady that I met at that preschool fair, she ended up having 3 people on her team that were senior consultants. So that event was, you know, and that took, like, I think it took 9 months for her to have a party with me. And then years after that, I mean, she'd gone to conference, she'd almost promoted to leader. She didn't want to, but anyways, at the initial event, when I walked away from that preschool fair, I could have said that was a bomb, but it wasn't. It's because I followed up and made it not a bomb. All right, so I'm going to keep talking quickly. If it's expensive, partner with people. If the event is over $50, did you know that you can get free catalogs from 31? Yes. So, oh gosh, what's it called? I can't remember the name, and I meant to look it up. Someone on here has got to know. I bet Margaret knows. There's a form that you go in and you fill it out, and then you just have to show what you paid. I think it's like $50, you get a certain amount of catalogs for free, and then 100, you get another amount of catalogs for free. And I think what your trade show form, Monica, thank you. Thank you, Monica. And then do you get, they don't send you catalogs, you get a business credit, right? Something like that. So if you can let me know which one, what they get, do they give you a credit for business supply? Oh, you pick what you want. Thank you. Okay. I knew in the past they would just send you catalogs, but sometimes it didn't work out with the timing. It depends on the cost. Okay, awesome. So yeah, that is a way to make it great. That's why if you have mini catalogs, hand them out like candy, especially if you got them for free from 31 with your information on it, always with your information on it. Okay, so if it's expensive, okay, your display, keep it simple but attractive. Group your products in color combos or product categories, make it make sense. Okay, and then just some common stuff. Think about how you would feel welcome going up to a booth, right? If you've been to these events, you've seen the consultant that's like this, right? Are you gonna go up and talk to her? No, you want the one that's like this. She's just biding her time, right? You're not gonna go up to you want the one that says, you know, she's out front, she's smiling, not in a weird way, but you know, just be normal, be your friendly self, be welcoming, you know, like if there's a path to get into like the booth area, don't be blocking it. Make it so that you can just go, come in, take a look around. You don't want to necessarily like make your booth up. I've done it where I felt trapped in the booth because there was one way in and one way out, and it's like you feel like you're gonna get trapped in there. Make it so that it's welcoming, that they can go in and see more, but that they don't feel trapped. Never be sitting behind the table. don't even have your phone, because here's what we do. And this is natural, right? It's on us. Like it's part of my body right now. You might be like, oh, those people are way down there. Okay, I have about 30 seconds before they get to my booth. Guess what? People are looking at you. Other vendors are looking at you. And before you know it, you don't want to be like, oh, like you don't want to make them feel like they interrupted you and your phone, having your little affair together to talk to you. You want to be like eager for them to come towards you, right? Because in your hope, not your hope, but other vendors are not going to have good vendor behavior, and you're going to be the one that's set apart. You're going to be the one that looks different. You're going to be the one that's not sitting behind the booth, because that's what the little grandmas do, and that's what you're supposed to do. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. Stand out in front and be welcoming them in, talk to them, ask them something beyond how are you. Put the phone away, put it away. Don't eat while you're in your booth. And this sounds like common sense. Don't have your kids with you at the booth or grandkids at the booth. You can't babysit and work at the same time, because you're going to be distracted. They're going to be pulling on you. They might, you might feel like you can't get into a deep discussion about joining your team if you're like looking to wonder, oh, my kid's crawling under the table, right? So just maybe common sense. Okay, now this is also common sense, but it doesn't hurt to remind. I've been to some bad booths before, and you just want to be mindful. Have great breath. They're going to be coming. They might be a close talker, right? You might not be a close talker, and this would be fine. But if they're a close talker, you better be prepared, right? Don't wear a ton of perfume. That can push people away. But you want to smell good. Common sense, right? Jamie, are you laughing at me? Wear a little makeup. Look professional. Look like you care about being there. First impressions are super important, right? Like this is someone that could be walking up to your booth that's thinking, do I want to join this person's team? If I join this person's team, this is someone that I'm going to be connected with for a long time. Do I want to be connected to that person, right? So that's their first impression. They're lasting. We know it. Other tips, random tip, like you could wear a 31 t-shirt, but wear something neutral. You want to not clash with your booth. Don't wear your Hawaiian shirt or stripes or something that's going to go against and create a new pattern amongst the patterns. Wear something neutral, and then that way you can be trying on and wearing different things while you are in your booth. So I'm sitting there. You always want to be wearing something or holding something, right? This is a great one. This is the new, and I've totally spaced on the name of it. You can keep mini catalogs in here. You can keep your, look at Arla has hers too. Keep some door prize slips in there, a pen. So no matter where you are in the booth, you're prepared to hand out your mini catalog. You're prepared to have her enter your drawing, give your contact information, and you're displaying a product. So, and another great tip, and this I got from my mother. My mother used to manage beauty supply stores. She had a few that she ran, and she knew that if she could get the product into their hand, they were way more likely to buy it, because they have taken almost like an ownership of it. And it sounds like it's a sales trick, but I mean, and I guess it is, but if she put a bottle of shampoo in their hand, they were more likely to take it home. So if there's something and they get to experience it, it's doing them a favor. So beyond trickery, but if you hand someone something, like if you handed someone like this Ruby Mini, they could feel it and go, oh, that's pretty substantial. That's only $22. They might unzip it. Oh, that's a good zipper. Oh, let me look inside. Oh, it's padded, so they're more apt to fall in love and make a connection, because they literally are connected to it. They're touching it. So if you can have something on and have something like, oh, have you ever seen this before? Like, especially if they've been with 31, or they know 31, and you hand them something that's new, they're going to connect with that. Okay, what else? We're neutral. I don't, smile, smile, smile. Don't cross your arms. Oh, and if you are sharing a booth with another consultant, don't talk. I know it sounds ridiculous, but like you can visit with each other, but you don't want to, like, there's going to be people around you in other vendor events or vendors that are going to be listening to you. You don't want to talk bad about the company, about other companies. You don't want to be gossiping. You don't want to be swearing. You don't want to be like doing anything that would make anyone look down upon you. And then you don't want people to feel like they're coming in your booth and they're interrupting a private conversation. That's the main thing. Like when someone's around, your attention is on them and you want them to come in. So not like, oh, we're talking to business. Oh, hi, how are you? Come and see what we have. It's not social time, okay? So if I paid for a $900 booth, you better believe I'm going to say, these are the rules. Like this, if you paid your $10 or your $15 an hour, you want to make it worth your while. So do not do this, 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 and this. So not that, so that's it. So the bottom line, once again, the number one thing to remember, if you do any kind of these vendor events, whether it be a free one, $25 one, $900 one that's 4 hours long, one that's 4 days long, what is the number one thing that you have to do no matter what? I'm asking you. Make your money. Show up, and there we go. I see it. Follow up, make connections, be personable. I love it. The thing that I was going for there is follow up. Okay, because that is going to be the thing that sets you apart from every other vendor event, or vendor. Every other vendor. So, and here's another like not hypothetical. What's it called? I don't know, a story. So I went and when you have 2 people in a booth, it's a great opportunity to go around and shop at all the other vendors and meet everyone. Sometimes your best customers are the other vendors. We know that, right? So go around and meet them. I had this event in the springtime. It was a bingo, and my idea was to showcase other vendors that I've met, or just other vendors. So I went through and I met Rodan & Fields. I met a Usborne book person. I met like all these different, one lady that makes like these beautiful hand-painted rocks, pottery, like just some great stuff. And I wanted to highlight other business women in my community. So they could come to my bingo. They would get 5 minutes to talk about their product. And then a little display, and then the other people could at the bingo could buy from them and meet with them, right? It was an opportunity. These people, I took their business cards, right? And I contacted them to see if they wanted, well, one, I wanted to buy a gift from one of them, the rock lady. The other one, the Usborne book lady, I wanted to showcase her in my event. They would get a showcase on social media, and the event, like, it was good. I joined her Facebook group, and she never got back to me. So I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I am trying to help you. So it was almost like taking not following up to another level. So follow up, and then, if you're not going to follow up, I mean, life happens, but consider not doing it if you're not going to hold yourself to the fire for following up. Okay, does anyone have any questions or want to share a tip that you've come across in your experience that I didn't cover? You can feel free to unmute yourself and chat.
I have a question.
Okay, Arla, yeah.
October 25th, our church is doing our 3rd annual trunk or treat, and I've never participated before. Melinda said, Mom, we should do it this year. So I've got all these cute ideas for my trunk or treat. how do I just get sneaky and throw it in with the kids' candy, my contact information? I mean, I've seen TV, but I
Well,
don't.
okay, so these are the questions I would ask for trunk or treat. So for anyone who's not familiar with what trunk or treat is, they take a parking lot and the participants, they, you know, back or park, and then they open their trunk, decorate their trunk, and then instead of kids going trick-or-treating house to house, they go trunk to trunk and get candy that way. So my question for you, Arla, is can your theme be bags? Can your theme be, you know, whatever it is? Or is it something like a community outreach where you're doing this for your church, but does the church say, here are the businesses that participated in trunk or treat, and maybe the people get a flyer, or maybe they get what's called a swag bag, where or what do they call it? Something a month. There's some like that. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but like when you said, do I sneak it into their bags and mom gets that thing? But there are some like people that even make like the graphics for them. It's like a mummy bag, you know, so it's like a little cellophane bag with candy in it, stapled shut, and then it has like a mini catalog with your information on it and maybe a coupon for mom. You know, so maybe like if you and Melinda are doing it, maybe like, I can't hear you, but your speakers, and now I hear you.
I said that's kind of what I was thinking, is
Yeah.
like a bag of some kind and throw my contact information in with the children's treat.
Yeah, or like maybe Melinda's handing out the candy and you're kind of off to the side where the parents are, like it's Melinda, kids, parents, and Arla. And Arla's like, oh, Mom, I have something for you too. And then you can hand it directly to her.
Okay.
Something like that. And then maybe see, and if your church doesn't have where they're like, okay, this is like so-and-so's auto detail is this trunk next to you, and it's, you know, Midas muffler next to him, and, you know, like, are they saying, here are the people in our church community that did this? So
right now, but that's such a good idea, because we could make that we could also make it a fundraiser for the school. I'm getting other ideas for.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, Monica said if they have a swag bag, what would you add? Sometimes, well, I would say like ask the people what they require. So some people are like, if you want, like some vendor events, like you have an option to be in a swag bag, but it has to be an X value, or it has to have one 3-dimensional item. It can't just be a paper. It can't just be a mini catalog, but maybe it could be a gift with purchase, or which would not be a 3-dimensional thing, but maybe it would be a nail file, which could get expensive. And I might say, no, I'll just trust that people come by my booth and that's what they want, versus ordering 50 nail files to give out to random people, right? Yeah, so it depends. Like different swag bag, different people have a different idea of what a swag bag really is. Yeah, they would come around. You know what? Sometimes that is just, oh, it's frustrating when it's people, you know, that just happens. They get tired. They're just like, okay, I'm done, you know. But you could follow up with them and say like, hey, you know, oh, I was looking forward to you coming back around. There were so many things to see. I'm sure you got sidetracked. Did you have a chance to look at the mini catalog I gave you, right? Just, you know, write their name down and, you know, because they're like, oh, I already know Elaine. I'm going to go see these things that I've never seen before, because I already know Elaine and I already know 31. But you can still follow back up with them. Let's see. So Michelle, can you have a treat bag full of adult prizes that you can somehow? Yeah, absolutely. There's a picture on one of, I don't know if it's my team page or the Lineage page. It's like a Think About It bag, and it's a cellophane bag, and it has a mini catalog in it and some candy, and then it's sealed, and there's you know, like it's something that it says on it, like I put a Smartie, a mint, and a yes, like that. Just like if you guys can see what Michelle is okay, yeah, you have it. Oh my gosh, you even have the Smartie. What else do you have in there? I can't see it. Like if you're a Smartie, book a party. If you want to make a mint, join my team. Oh, it's something joy. Something to do with it. It'll give you joy. I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but that's something that you could put in there. And like what Arla was saying, like that's something that you can hand to there we go. Oh, Jolly, it's a Jolly Rancher. Yes, yes, buy something and you'll be jolly. So it's a Jolly Rancher. It's nothing chocolate, because if you use them during the summer, you don't want a piece of chocolate melting all over everything, even though probably what people want is chocolate. But I picked those ones because they weren't chocolate and wouldn't melt, and they don't go bad. Okay, so something like that, Arla, might be good. Okay, so yeah, so when they require a raffle prize, yeah, I mean, that's a part of it, and Elaine is right on the money when she says include your contact information. And did you know, this is how Jennifer Pasalakis joined 31. She bid on a raffle prize at a hospital, and Heidi Gray had donated a prize, and Heidi Gray's information was in that product, and Jennifer Pasalakis took that catalog with Heidi Gray's name on it and joined. So can you imagine, like, if Jennifer Pasalakis got a gift from a raffle prize or whatever, or a auction, and there was no contact information, and she went to 31gifts.com and signed up with some other random person? No, Heidi Gray was very smart. She has thousands of people in her lineage thanks to putting her information in there with where Jennifer Pasalakis. So you never know when the next Jennifer Pasalakis or any one of us, gosh, will pick up that stuff and join our team, right? That's not to say that you're only going for someone like, you know, Jennifer Pasalakis, but someone whose life that you'll be able to impact as well. All right, so Elaine, thank you for saying, yeah, price range. Again, like we get stuff at Celebrate and Connect. We get stuff like we have our AMP rewards. We can get stuff at a deep discount. We self-host parties all the time, and we collect stuff that's free. We use our hostess rewards. Think about those kinds of things, and you can always put those as your door prize or raffle donation for things like that. Oh, okay, so what I was gonna say about Jennifer Pasalakis and the hospital thing, and I don't know how this coordinates, but it does somehow. I'm forgetting a portion of the story. But if you give catalogs to the people, like when you put your donation, you have a catalog in the item, but give extra catalogs for the people that are running the event, because that way those people will also have your information in case they don't have a chance. I mean, they're running a huge event. They might not have a chance to come over to your booth, but then you can set up those catalogs for them. All right, does anyone else have a question that I didn't answer on chat? You can unmute yourself or type it in. Yeah, Elaine, about how they market the event. Absolutely. Like, do they have the advertising budget? What are they requiring? Yeah, Margaret is dead on. Don't overwhelm them. They don't want to regret walking in your booth. Yes, I'm trying to see if I missed any. Does anyone have any other questions? Someone unmuted. Jamie, were you going to share something? No? Okay.
Oh, wait, it was me.
Oh, so Elaine, do you find
Oh, did I unmute?
to stock in advance? I would say
Um,
no. I mean, I've done it where if it's little tiny items that typically can't be personalized, like timeless memory pouches. I mean, you're not going to set the world on fire selling $5 pouches, but to be honest, like if someone wants to buy something and they want to walk away with something, timeless memory pouches are excellent. I've sold a ton of those off my table. Little's carry-all caddies are fantastic for that as well. Just, I mean, anything that's not going to clog up your display so much. And it depends on your goal. Like Margaret and I were talking about, like if you have a lot of these products and you want to get rid of them, you can kind of highlight that this event, I am going to sell stock. Like I'm going to discount this stuff 25%, 50%, whatever it is, and get it up, you know, get some cash flow going. I mean, it depends, but then make sure that you're not giving it up. Like you're just not like the dip person and it's $5 for a dip, they go on their way, you never make contact with them again. Make sure that you can still get their contact information and follow up with them. So my hesitation there is sometimes you just have a limited amount of space at your booth or table, and you don't want to make it look like a garage sale, because that could be their first impression of 31. So when I do that, I might have like a box or a large utility tote under the table, and if someone's like, do you have anything to sell right now? So yeah, I do actually, and then I can pull it up and put it on the table and sell that way. So yeah, Margaret, handmade, make gifts with our products, zipper pouch with Bath and Body Works stuff. I mean, I think Monica, having it shown, like Margaret saying, like, here's an example of a gift that you can give, but you know, saying like, this is a pre-made Little's carry-all caddy with a little Christmas tree in it. You can buy it for $25 instead of $15. I don't know if, I mean, I would rather you show it and then they can go get the stuff to fill it up. I haven't had any luck with selling pre-made stuff, but I do, I mean, I have some people that sell these things online. They call them, not online, on Facebook. She calls them popover gifts. And so she'll do like the whole Little's carry-all caddy with 4 IBC root beer straws and a ice cream scoop in it, and she'll sell it like that, so that maybe a realtor, or you can do a like a hostess gift or something like that. So yes, definitely stuff those timeless memories. I don't even know if we're going to have them. We'll find out pretty soon, I guess, if we're going to have them again. I can't imagine we wouldn't. They're so nice. Oh, we do have them, don't we? Never mind. We do have them already. Okay. All right. So you guys can all read those chat tips. You can read them for yourself. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap it up because we're talking long again, so long-winded, but I think it's just, you know, a great topic, because if you're going to do them, hopefully you get some tips on how to best utilize your time, find good ones, make good choices, and follow up. So thank you guys for hopping on tonight and listening and sharing. And I'm going to stop recording, and I will post the recording later, not later, but tomorrow. You're welcome. My pleasure. I hope it helps. And if you have anything like a question that comes up, please feel free to ask me, because I am a resource for you, and I've done a lot of vendor events. Ask on our groups. We have a lot of vendor event divas that crush vendor events. Even, I mean, more, but even better than I do. I shouldn't say it like that. that do a better job than I do, is what I'm trying to say. So thank you for participating. If you haven't done one, I say give it a try. You might surprise yourself. You might meet that one person that could change your business. And yeah, even, you know, you never know. You never know. That is kind of my motto. You never know who you're going to meet. Oh, your favorite so far. Great. Thanks, Arla. Michelle, I don't know. I'm debating on a couple, and I just have to kind of like think through it. So I'm not sure. So stay tuned. All right, you guys, have a great week and happy end of the month. And October's tomorrow, medium utility tote, so exciting. So I'll talk to you later. Hope to see you on here again next week. Okay, bye.